If you're joining me for the very first time, my name is Holly Lee. I am a career coach. My goal is to simply live stream twice a week, every single week, Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. and Friday at 9:30 a.m. for my EMEA audience. A special guest today to talk about your LinkedIn branding in helping you brand better on LinkedIn, your professional profile, so that you can land those job interviewed in the right position with your company of choice. I'm so excited to introduce you to my marketing partner. She goes by String Story on social media. Give me a quick moment and let me pull her right in. String, there you are.
Hi, Holly, and hi, everyone around the world. It's great to be here.
Tell us, what do you really think about the platform using LinkedIn and professional branding on a job seeker perspective?
I come from a marketing perspective, from a business owner and being an expert, and Holly hates the word expert. We had to probably debate about this as well, like Holly, because I want to hear your perspective about why professionals should use the word expert in their branding. I have to say that you, as a professional, have all the years of knowledge, and LinkedIn is used as a way to package yourself, the resume platform. But more than that, it's a content-driven platform that showcases your personality, your values, and your expertise. So there's a difference between expertise and expert, by the way. But it's really important these days because of COVID. Our digital footprint is left on LinkedIn. So it's really important that you go out there to stand out, because your recruiters, your HR, your team, everyone who wants to hire you are checking you out on LinkedIn.
You have helped me tremendously, String, for my branding of who I am, not even to my business. You helped me highlight as a career coach how I differentiate myself with thousands of coaches just in Seattle alone, not to say in the world. You've also helped me attract the right clientele, which is my YouTube audience right there. They're amazing. You know 50% of them because they are already in my coaching cohort. I love talking about branding, String, and you and I had this conversation before where every single time when I look at the analytics on LinkedIn, their own platform, on anywhere in the social media, when people hear the word branding, it immediately turns people off. Not our favorite, no one really want to talk about it. But when I hear the word branding, it reminded me of the word self-awareness. And I encourage all of you guys to check her out. It's String Story on YouTube, where we walk people through. We have examples, and I have templates into stage 1, 2, 3, 4, from channel art to photo to the about section, keyword. By the way, guys, there are a lot of people who charges you. You have to pay a fee to know what the buzzword or keyword is. And String, one of the primary reasons why I love partnering with you so much is that you and I have the ultimate goal of just helping people, because we spend so much time in just Clubhouse alone. Oh my God, 2 weeks ago, we were planning on being on for 60 minutes, and it is like nearly 3 hours for us to be there. Yeah, I know, right? 3 hours. And you're in Australia, I'm in the US. My kid is pulling my leg. We were fighting over my iPhone because Clubhouse is audio chat on iOS only, and I was praying to dear God that he didn't take my phone away or press the wrong button. Should let you guys know that we are both going to be on Clubhouse this Saturday at 8 p.m. about what? Branding, and to answer more of your questions. What really are the key areas that you would like to help our professionals stand out in their profile? And these are a lot of job seeker, and a lot of them are very eager to work with top brand name tech companies.
Well, I really love your point about branding as self-awareness, because you have to package yourself. You need to know what your superpowers are, right? And so a lot of times, like, a lot of people, want to be humble, but there's a way of being confident and prideful in the work and that we do and the impact that we have. And the thing that you taught me, especially with Star, is like, how do you package yourself or tell the story in a succinct way that confidently conveys your superpower and your ROI and your impact? So I have to say that when it comes to, as a professional, you should be really thinking about, what is my superpower and how can I contribute to the company itself? Because it's all about being that FAANG companies are all about company fit, because they're so popular, right? So they have the creme of the crop to pick from. So you have to like, how do I stand out? How can I show that I'm a good company fit? How can I show that I'm very confident and competent? Because they don't want to have like someone who's like very introverted and who's not proactive. They want to pick someone that is like always active as well. So these are the things that you taught me just hanging out in your own coaching community on Discord. And I have to say that know your superpowers. What are your superpowers? Even that itself is like a good self-awareness starting point.
What is the biggest mistake that you have seen on LinkedIn profile that make you cringe?
Headline, about. Those are two things that I look, and the headline is really important because it's like where the keywords and buzzwords are. And a lot of people like really underutilizes headlines, LinkedIn headlines. You know how like there's a picture there and there's a 1 or 2 sentence below you? That's where the headline is.
If your profile pops up in front of a recruiter or employer, hiring manager, that's even worse. Your headline is really, you have so much room to put a lot of your stuff in there, the industry, your domain expertise, but what is your next position that you wanted to get into that you are qualified for? You see why I don't like the word expert? Because nowadays, I don't know, I get it because of 2020 and a lot of folks are feeling very nervous. I want to use the word desperate. Like suddenly there's so many experts for every single thing on there. But does it really represent who you are? Is that your superpower? Is that really your strength? Just say what your superpower is and not use the word expert.
Can I add something as well? And I think I get the, just think of them HR and recruiters. They see thousands and hundreds, if not thousands, of resumes and LinkedIn profiles. So they kind of, and you probably heard this as well, they scan. So they're like machines scanning for buzzwords. And the first place they look for buzzwords is your headline. So they're looking for like program manager, that's entry level, but they're looking for leaders. What are the keywords do people scan for? Is it the word senior tech leader? Like Holly, what are the certain keywords that people look for or recruiters look for if they look for like potential leaders? For
the word global leader, global technical leader, are you tech, are you non-tech? What kind of leader are you? A lot of people just put leader, like IT leader. That tells me nothing about your background. If you put IT solution engineering leader, that's so crystal clear. Or if you put global hardware leader, yes, it tells me that you have the infrastructure, hardware, software, and embedded. And even like there's a lot of operation program manager in my life recently, thanks to Amazon and a lot of the open positions around the world. Even so, people are not aware of just that one simple word, global. And then right next to that, do exaggerate a little bit. You see that? I didn't say call expert. I said exaggerate. What does the word global means to you? Do you have experience with JPEG, Asia, EMEA? Where is it? US and Pacific, North America? So you can actually put some of those continent, not every single state that you've been in, but continent in your headline as well. So when someone's looking at your profile, they're looking for a leadership position, especially with FAANG company, preferably they want someone with that global, scalable footprint.
It does. And but also like the way you brand yourself, it's like you're kind of niching yourself and you're positioning yourself. So you're narrowing down. The word operations really good. And IT is so broad that you need to like go down and narrow as well. So you said hardware, infrastructure, AWS, cloud leader, like it kind of allows
turning
people
to career coach. Look at you.
Well, because I was thinking about that's niching. Because, like, for example, marketing is also another broad thing, right? But I kind of niched myself to personal brand marketing, and that's how like where I'm getting all my deal flows are coming from, and even networking wise. So you need to niche yourself like this, not go like that, because that kind of shows that you don't know where you position yourself or market yourself in the global space. You need to like go this, not
where I feel like with private coaching, they require so much hand holding where I have to almost nag. I'm not even going to use the word holding them accountable for them to work. And it's so much energy for me to keep on pumping for them to show up where I had to say, you know what, this is not working out for us. If you're interested, you have to really show me that you're willing to do the work. And let's talk about my group coaching cohort, which is the VIP or the Star Accelerator. So what are some of the things that you have motivated just people in general, whether they're job seeker or business owner? How do you keep them accountable, motivating them without really holding their hand into getting started?
knowing what the goals are. Holly, you had a really clear goal. clarity happens, right? And a lot of times, like people who, and it comes back to the self-awareness piece again that we talked about. If you don't know what your goal is, or like your objectives is, and if you make it unrealistic, and when you go for interview preps and like you get rejected all the time and you forget your goal, it demotivates you. But also, if you're able to have realistic goals and align your goals and expectations to that goal, you're able to discipline yourself to move forward. But I get rejected all the time. Yeah, I run a business. I'm somewhat successful, and I'm like 4 times LinkedIn top voice. But they're all vanity. At the end of the day, like I'm also a daughter, a partner. Like I have my own partners and things. So I have like my expectation is to be happy and live my values as a creative person, and I'm doing that. So you just need to know your values and your goals and set realistic goals and be okay like when rejections happens, because rejections is a way to say a step closer to say your yeses. And you only need one yes, don't you? At the end of the day, don't you, Holly, with like a job?
You know, when I get that perfect client, you guys know who you are because you are all in my group coaching cohort and you guys are still supporting me as my YouTube member. Thank you for being here. I see you. String, they always have questions for us. They always do. Let's see
Yes.
here. Oh my God, confidence. Yes, String. Confidence is superpower without being too much is a key. Britt Riding Hood is a consultant at Google as a project manager, and they are actually considering her to go full time very soon. Fingers crossed for you. People, it works. I'm telling you, you don't even have to pay to be part of my program because literally every single week someone's going to come in. I don't know today because the time has changed, but generally there's about 5 to 10 people every single Tuesday that comes in here to announce their job announcement at one of the FAANG companies. 90% of them are Amazon. Even though I'm not an Amazon coach, String, please tell them I'm not an Amazon coach.
Well, like this.
Okay,
Just
fine.
there's, do you know what? There's a high demand around it.
Why I don't like to defer myself as the one brand is that I am never one to put all my eggs in one basket. I'm not saying that Amazon's going to go away. What if one day something happened to Amazon and my entire business is down the toilet, right?
Well,
Just like
yeah.
how, yeah, I've coached all of you guys. When you're interviewing for Amazon, why should you settle for just Amazon? Go get all the FAANG interview and go get all the offer and then think which one you have the best relationship with so that you can join the environment. Because a lot of people want to work for Amazon and Amazon's probably not appreciating this right now. It may not be the right fit for you, just like the Google and the Apple in the world. Since the pandemic, if anything, it helps Amazon. Because of that, there's a lot more open position. If you guys are thinking about the market, I don't want to say the market is bouncing back. I think that when the pandemic hit, you have to refocus your energy on what type of company is actually hiring, which has to do with your branding. So this is still a really you're not behind, you're not late. This is still a really good time for you to work on your branding. Give me a show of hand. Let me know how many of you are really struggling in landing job interview. If you say yes or give me a show of hand, that means that you should take LinkedIn profiling or branding more seriously. MW says, waiting to hear back from the hiring manager on my final interview from Thursday. I've been through at least 90% of your videos. Wow.
Let Holly know. She's always happy to like hear these like success stories.
I'm not being biased here, guys, but let me just tell you, every single week I have an average, and I just talked about this. The people who reach out to me via LinkedIn, average 10 every single week, and never fail. Out of the numbers, I would say 80%, are you guys ready for this, are women. But a lot of the professional who are in the male descent, a lot, and I'm saying a lot. String, you know what I'm talking about because we literally share messages. They will write me a page to say, Holly, I just joined and subscribed to your YouTube member. I'm expecting free coaching from you. I'm like, and literally, I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of them, right?
Stop being entitled. Like, if you want to invest in yourself, pay for it. It's called setting boundaries as well. Like, you already put out free content out there on your YouTube channel, and because of that, they assume that they could like go inside your door and ask any questions. Can I,
Yes.
I want to do another signal. It rhymes with word duck.
I feel like I have to control you while I'm trying to control myself to hold back a little bit here. Don't do it, Holly. Don't say it. I mean, guys, you got to show up. Stop being lazy. Don't do that. Everyone has done it. You're affected by the pandemic. Maybe you're not. You're head of household. You can't afford coaching. Every single time when you guys reach out to me for private coaching, the first thing I said is group cohort, because the ROI is very high in both, but it's more towards your dollar. I'm not even sugarcoating or hiding. Look what MW just said. 90% of my video. And Lou watched a lot of my video. How long have you been studying for the Amazon interview before you landed an offer as a software engineer? She said 3 months. If you're coming to me and you're thinking about me sitting behind my monitor waiting for you to message me to give you a free tip, just imagine how many people does that. Okay, I'm not saying that to be rude, but literally there are 2 hours every single week on here, and we're also on Clubhouse. The last time we were on Clubhouse was an additional 3 hours free for you guys. When women professional reach out to me, they never say, by the way, give me a free tip, give me a last minute quick tip, or quick here and quick there. And no, they're so genuine about it, where they say, hey, Holly, I'm having my interview. Can you please direct me to any last minute resources? Absolutely. And they just did it. And then a week or so after, they respond back to me to tell me that they landed a job offer. In fact, there are so many of them, I have to freaking create a Facebook group to house them. So I remember who you guys are. 70 member, and I literally just started creating the Facebook group. You need to really work hard to get the job that you want. Do not laugh at me, String. I know. I'm very serious about this.
No, I just want to say side note, right? Because like I read your messages, because this is me understanding the mind of who your audience is as well. So I'm a marketing manager or marketing person. I love data and I love understanding who our customers are. And I have to say that like there's always a demand for one-on-one coaching, but that because they want the one-on-one time. But there's a lot of benefits like in the VIP group cohort where you learn from others as well, because everyone's going through the same process. And I realize like they when I see them and watch them from the beginning, because I watch everyone's journey, they don't know how to communicate their superpowers, even though they think they know their superpowers. Ask, put them on the spot and ask them like, convey your weaknesses, and they probably go on a 10-minute tangent, going circling around when they could like articulate that in 1 minute. And that's what the STAR method and communication and branding is. It's a work in progress, because like we never trained ourselves to communicate our super values or our ROI. So like that's why Holly is here, and there's a demand for her.
By the way, Luciana, thank you for your comment. Anyone who didn't get your resume accelerator, go do it. Best investment I have made. Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
And she's I have to say, Luciana also contributes to the community as well, and adds to the vibes. So I'm like, just want to give a shout out to Luciana.
What should go on the LinkedIn profile and what should not? That's a great question, Anil.
What job are you applying for? And how many people you connected with? Because like if I have to look at your profile and I don't have it in front of me, I look at your headline, I look at your profile pic to see if you're updated. I look at your summary, and I look at your experience as well. So pump up your superpower and strength. Niche yourself.
Jin, thank you. Jin says you two are a natural team.
That's so funny, like you say that. So if you're like a hospital, Holly, you're like the triage nurse right now. That's branding, right? That's the experience that you're doing right now. See how much love.
I love to coach. I love, if all I do is just turn on the camera and coach and not have to deal with anyone else, not answer any of your messages, no LinkedIn. You hear that? Hint, hint. No messages, just show up. Perfect. I would love to do this. String, this is how amazing my community is. Even if my audio have shut off for 40 minutes, they will stick around and wait. You see why I have to work hard for everybody in the community? You said, yeah, if you fail Amazon interview, even though you answer all the questions, could it be because of the branding?
Oh, this is how, it's because you're probably misaligned. Like what they thought of you, like if you applied for one job and you didn't apply for the right one, they probably put you quickly on the rejection pile. I'm not saying it's your fault. It's just because of the way you positioned yourself, you're not a good fit. Branding is like getting you closer to the right jobs that is a good fit for you. See, I know how to answer it.
I know. I'm trying to turn her into a career coach, but don't
She's training
tell
you.
her that
She's training
because she
you.
literally partnered with me in a lot of the stuff and no one else knows my style. Strain, let me tell you how amazing you are. I was actually in conversation and I told you this with several different types of bar racers because I thought a year ago when I started this whole online coaching platform, I thought in the perfect world, I would have an interview panel with a bunch of bar racer and myself. Now, in full disclosure, I was nominated to be a bar racer several times my first 6 months at Amazon Kindle. I said no because I was already doing the job as a recruiter at the time. And my passion is to go into interview training, not just interviewing you guys, because I was already doing that. Because I'm afraid that they may not be able to coach you the way that I would coach you from a lens of someone who grew up in recruiting as a leader, executive recruiter, and literally hired every single position out there, almost 80% of the role. That is why. And Strain, I will work with you anytime. Did you guys hear the type of things that she's sharing with you guys? How can we know what we got rejected? It's very simple. And I'm not saying that because I used to work for Amazon, any company. If you pause, okay? If you think back of the questions that was being asked, not just you are able to answer the questions, what was the vibe from the interviewer? What type of follow-up questions did they ask you? I literally coached my coaching cohort yesterday about this in my VIP and Star Accelerator. Just take a step back. You failed your interview, let's move on. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's them. Maybe the interviewer was not in the mood to interview you. So there's a lot of different reasons, but without you and I working together, I can't really tell you what it is. And generally, it takes me no more than 1 minute to get you figure out. Right, Strain? You've sat in my
Yeah,
mock interview before. It doesn't take
and
that long
yeah,
to figure it out.
yeah. Okay, but it's like that's because you have 20 years of experience. You're like a machine, Holly. You're like an algo machine. You already know if he's gonna get the job or not within 5 minutes of them. She's a machine, guys.
I would work with you over any bar racer because I feel like you have a very diverse way of looking in the big picture. You're coming from a business owner, from like coaching platform, from mock interviewed. So you're exposed to so much. And I'm really impressed on how you pick up on things. You know more about my business than I do. If I were to work with a bar racer, I know if this is where their passion is because the first questions I've asked, what do you want to do? What are you passionate on? Holly, I'm just looking for a side hustle until I find a full-time job. You know, when you're coaching clients, they know when your heart is not in it.
Yeah, you could tell the intentions really matters.
You should see us on Clubhouse. It's fun, guys. String will come in and she'll say things like, what Holly really meant is this. Holly, stop being so mean. What Holly really
No,
meant to
no.
say is
What was the highest fail if you count, and then they that you helped them succeed?
95% of the people who are in any of my coaching program have failed their Amazon interviewed from 1 to 5 times. My VIP cohort, I tell them the same thing. I said, you need to cancel or just push back at the bare minimum a month. And it's going to take you some time to create the right branding. I know a lot of them like to do this to me. Holly, what does my resume and my LinkedIn profile, my branding have to do with passing an interview? It has everything to do with creating your story, people. Okay. If your branding isn't clear to you, what makes you think it's clear to the interviewer? I can't thank you enough. Your content helped me prepare my interview with AWS. I did a lot of provided great framework. Oh, you got an offer. Yay!
If I have to give you one super tip from just today, self-awareness and understanding your superpowers.
If you're not satisfied with your branding, you probably should not be applying to jobs. I have had upset a couple other folks when I say that you are not ready to apply for jobs. You need to take that to heart. There's a reason why you get rejected right off the bat, even before you made it to the phone interview, or worse, you make it to an interview and you get a recruiter reject right off the bat. That is because your branding is not all there. If it isn't, you won't be able to present yourself the way that you deserve to be.